Good evening, peoples of God. I'm just hopping back on. My name is Shay, by the way, for those who may not know, and I did not give an introduction because before I was just truly trying to be obedient to the Lord. But my name is Shay for all of those who may come across this video. And I just wanted to hop on while my voice is much better, going through a little bit of healing. But who knows that God will heal you, Jehovah Rapha, okay? But He placed it on my spirit, and I just wanted to be obedient and release this that forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. I'm going to say that again. Forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. And I say that because oftentimes, like, when we think about forgiveness, it just seems so hard to do. But at the end of the day, forgiveness is not for the people who hurt you. Forgiveness is not for the people who betrayed you, turned their back on you, the people who threw you in the pit. Okay, come on, Joseph. Forgiveness is most definitely for you at the end of the day. And we can learn that really from Jesus himself, because when he was betrayed and when he was put on the cross, um, he he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Oftentimes when people hurt you, or when they betray you, or when they do something to you, they don't even recognize what they're doing or what spirit is operating out of them. And that is why forgiveness is not for them, it's for you. Because when you hold unforgiveness and just bitterness, the anger, the rage, all the things that come with unforgiveness, the only person that gets hurt is you, baby. The only person who loses sleep is you. And he brought me back to Joseph, and just how with Joseph, he had to really learn humility. Like, he had to go through a few things to truly carry the gift that God was placing in him. But when it came time in Genesis chapter 50, starting at like the 15th verse, his father said to him, like, before he passed away, that I need you to forgive them. Like, your brothers, yeah, the ones that tried to get rid of you, yeah, the ones who lied to me and said that you were dead, I need you to forgive them. And at the end of the day, that forgiveness was truly for him, because he could have been totally different. He could have treated them differently based off how they just discarded him at the end of the day. And people in this lifetime, because of all the evilness and the way that they allow the enemy to use them, they will discard you. They will throw you in a pit. They will forget that you ever even existed, until God will show up on the scene, and them same people are going to be the same ones that have to come before you. And God cannot put you in the presence of your enemies if there's not a table set. So you're going to have to go through some things in this lifetime. Like, God never promised that it would be easy. He promised he'd be with us. That's a word for somebody. But back to Joseph, and how he really did have to just show forgiveness towards them. And what I love is that he said the enemy meant evil. Like, what the enemy meant for evil, God is going to use for my good. Like, the enemy meant for me to stay in that pit. The enemy meant for me to not be in this place where I can be able to help y'all. The enemy meant for me to not rise from this situation. But the God that I serve, the God I serve will use it for my good. And so you gotta let go of that unforgiveness. You got to let it go. And it's not gonna be for those who hurt you, it's for you. Like, a lot of things get held up in the spirit because of unforgiveness. You gotta let it go. And I know it's not easy. I'm sure when Joseph really thought about things and he cried in front of his brothers, I am quite sure he felt the pain of like what he went through, and probably thought all the things that we think of, like, how can I forgive them? They did this, they did that. Well, the answer to that is, what the enemy meant for evil, the God will you God, our the only, the highest, the supreme one, will use it for your good. And so I just want to leave that with y'all. I hope that you guys meditate on that and that it stays in your spirit, because um we are really under like an open heaven, answered prayers, things happening very quickly. But the one thing that can withhold you from stepping into all that God has for you is holding unforgiveness in your heart, in your mind, in your soul. So seek the Lord about it, pray about it, but visit Genesis 50. Read the whole chapter. I think the whole story of Joseph is just beautiful in itself. So if you have the time, read that. But definitely read Genesis chapter 50, starting at the 15th verse, go all the way down through 21, and get the meat of it so you can really understand how beautiful forgiveness is, and that it is not for them. Sometimes people will never apologize for the things that they have done to you. Sometimes people just never even know or see that they're being used in such a negative way. But God, He sees everything, and He will. That's a promise. He will use it for your good. So I hope you have a good week, and I hope that this encourages who it's meant to encourage. Stay blessed.